Welcome to part 2 of the Achievers interview with Samuel Coates, Chairman and Managing Director of Coates Logistics Limited. This week we hear more about his phenomenal story. What about businesses that may opt not to use a customs broker? Do you think that they are in effect being left behind, lagging behind?
Well, you're required to use a licensed custom broker once your import is of a certain value. So once it's over 5,000 US, you're required to use a custom broker. Some of the advantages of using a custom broker are as follows. One, you're dealing with a professional, someone who knows what the tariffs are and who can properly classify your goods. So there are items that you may think that are dutiable and they're actually duty-free. And be able to get advice in terms of the best logistics route. If you're shipping something from China, do you need to go to the state before you come to Jamaica, or is your vessels coming directly to Jamaica? Is it possible to just ship your thing to a particular agent who will ship once every month, or find somebody who will consolidate with somebody and ship every week? So we'll be able to give advice. In terms of the paperwork, a lot of persons are not really aware of what is required. As it also relates to licensing, a lot of import items require licensing, whether it be permit from the Ministry of Health, permit from the Ministry of Agriculture, license from Trade Board. Some items required import permits and license. So this is where a broker comes in, a truly trained professional broker. Also, as it relates to the various agencies you have to interface with, the shipping company, the wharf company, customs, the trucker, all this, what happens, a broker make your life much easier by tying all the logistics together for you.
It's rather interesting. You mentioned your other businesses that you also own and other activities you participate in, but at the same time, you have certificates and diploma, but you've never actually gone for the bachelor's, but yet you're so successful. So how is it that you did it? I'm sure our viewers at home, they would like to know that.
The thing is that there's a thing called QB, qualified by experience, and I oftentimes refer that to persons. I always tell persons that the only degree I need is a degree of self-control, and the only masters I needed to be master of my own destiny. Academic is important, and I do study a lot and I read a lot. It's just that as an entrepreneur, I just don't have the time to sit down in a classroom to do. For example, if I'm going to do a bachelor's, then it's going to take me 5 years part-time. I don't have time for that. If I'm going to do my MBA, it's going to take me 18 months. I don't have any time for that either. I'm sure during this, I'm not being conceited or anything, but I'm sure you think I'm an intelligent young man. The thing is that I studied in various fields. I studied what I want to do. So, for example, as it relates to custom broking, I didn't qualify for my exam, my license from exemption. I had to do the course, and I sat an exam and passed the exam. I've done other courses prior. I've done courses in entrepreneurship. I'm a certified trainer with heart as a trainer in entrepreneurship for CEFE. I'm also a trainer in Junior Chamber International. I'm a certified national trainer for JCI, where I do a lot of training and stuff. So I read a lot. I do courses. I do corresponding courses, and I do a lot of short courses. And for me, life and education is constant. It's continuous learning. It's not about just doing a degree and say, okay, I have a degree, I stop learning. I think later down in life, are part of the profile, so to speak. You might have those things behind the name. Sometimes it's good when you get them honorary. It goes to show your contribution to society. Oftentimes when I do speeches or I go places, persons will ask, where I did my MBA, and I said, poor me, I don't even have a first degree. Not that it's not important. Education is important. My children will be getting a minimum of masters, but for me, that's not important. Minimum. If they want a PhD, I should be able to finance that as well. But the thing is that for me, it's about life experiences that I've had. I wouldn't change anything in my life. I said I read constantly. I mean, my wife will tell you, every Saturday morning, if anybody comes and say, oh, he's inside reading. I'm always reading a lot of books, and it's important for persons to build a capacity by reading. And Rich Dad Poor Dad, that book helped change my life. Napoleon Hill, I mean, he wrote about all the wealthy guy from in the beginning of the 20th century and how they made it and stuff. So what happened, I read the blueprints of guys who have gone on before. I have local mentors as well. I mean, Elon Beckford, a noted successful businessman locally, is one of my mentors. I read up on Ardana Williams' story, Gordon Butch Stewart's story, and all of these guys don't have a degree. I mean, Bill Gates dropped out of college and all that, But the thing is that if I don't have the formal education, doesn't mean that you don't have the capacity or you're not trainable. Because what a degree says is that you're trainable. You're willing to go to a certain level of discipline and come out and you can take instruction and stuff. I mean, I've been doing that every day. I mean, there are persons who I know, I have friends who have the MBA, and I said, boy, Sammy, I grudge you. I wish I had your ability to speak or your ability to do this and the ability to do that. And sometimes, not knocking my friends with their MBAs and stuff, but unfortunately, sometimes, when you have too much education, you tend to be risk averse. Because for me, the more educated I become, is the more risk averse I become. Had I had the education background I have now when I start a business, probably I would have started. Because you're trained to identify all the risks. And you can, once you look at all the risks, that can be a deterrent for you to move forward. So you're not dunce like, you can't read, so I don't understand certain things. Just jump off of the building and you drop and die, or grow wings and fly. And throughout history, it will tell you that persons who are C students have A students working for them. And the reality is, who's really brighter? And I use this example all the time. Gordon Butch Stewart, his highest formal education was a diploma in marketing, I think from England. And he runs, we all know ATL, Beaches, Sanders, and all these big conglomerate groups. And what happened? He has the best people working for him, and everybody have to come and speak about their particular areas, if it's marketing, HR, finance, whatever. Now he has to sit and process all that information and take a decision. Who's brighter? Who's brighter? Yeah.
Would you therefore say experience over academics, or a balance?
Balance. It can't be one either or. There has to be a balance. I'm an advocate for education. So while you might not have the formal certification as, say, a degree, for example, if you showed up all the courses I've done, I would have surpassed a degree, the credits for a degree and even a master's, because I do a lot of courses. So it's important that one have a balance. So if you have a particular skill or a talent and experience in a particular thing, you also have to educate yourself, because, let's say I can fix phone. I'm a good technician, I'm good in electronics, computer, etc. But I need an accountant to file my taxes and stuff. And he's saying that I make a profit of $10 and I don't know, I can't verify that. If I can't read an income statement or a balance sheet, then I'm at a disadvantage. If I have a marketing officer who come in and say, okay, we need to grow the business to our next level and we need to do some of these things, and I can't relate, then I'm going to have a problem. So it's important that entrepreneurs are ensure that they might not be versed in the area per se, know everything, the nitty-gritty and stuff, but at least understand the basics, so that once a professional is within the area is talking to you, then you can understand. And a typical example of that is persons I work with my clients. Sometimes I work with the purchasing officers or the accountants. And what I'll do is share with them what the industry is about and what custom booking is all about, so they have a greater appreciation for our role and the role that we play. So it ought to be a balance.
When you are sitting on the Sunday evenings, just lounging with your family, relaxing, and you look about, you contemplate on your life from pushing a handcart to your successes now, what do you think about?
The thing is that Sunday is my family day. I go nowhere unless the wife gives me permission. She's a boss. Family is Sunday. Sunday is family day, so I go nowhere. So I stay home, I relax, I'll chill. I'll read the newspaper. I'll watch, on a personal note on CVM or in James. I'll read our articles. I'll assist in the yard doing some little chores or stuff, whatever else we've done. I really reflect on where I'm coming from, Because the past is a guide to the future, I tend to more daydream of where I'm going. You know, so I always saying, you know, I promised my wife that at age 50 I'll slow down and can take all the cruise in the world and all of that and stuff. But there's a balance. I still have to do so. I take a vacation every year, the family and stuff. But you know, I tend to look at what is to come rather than the past. Sometimes a lot of us, you know, we do it in the past too long, and sometimes once you spend a lot of time in the past, you become critical of yourself. Oh, why me never do this? I'm sure they do that. If me did do that, know that. You know, the critical thing is no. What you do now affects the future. So I'm always focused on the present and what is to come.
Thanks for tuning into The Achievers. Quite a profound story from Samuel Coates. For The Achievers, I have been your host, Tamara McHale. Tune in next week, same time.